looking through the new occult philosophies, there's actually some expert classes in there I wouldn't mind making a new character with.
Nice. I'm gonna have to grab that here in a couple of days or something.
Oh, is that
I think there was what?
Is that the one for Shadows?
Yeah. There was a whole handful of novice or not novice, expert and master paths, I think, in it.
Yeah.
Did you get the PDF?
Yeah.
Don't suppose I can talk you into sharing that.
Maybe.
I think he's doing a print on demand, so I'll probably wait for that because I tried to get all of the books in print anyway. Let's see. All right, let's figure out the recap here. Not a whole lot happened, but not a whole lot to really recap, as it was mostly a battle. You guys started on the outskirts of the winery and decided to sneak your way in. Stefani was going to create a distraction to the east, and she took off. She sent her, I assume it's her brother-in-law, but she hasn't really specifically said anyway. But his name is Drag, a pretty large, brutish fellow, big ears, looks a little slow. But he went with all of you as you guys snuck around to the western side of this building where she mentioned there was a door you could get into the main winery. She mentioned that she had family members somewhere in the winery that the forest folk or the druids had taken prisoner. She wasn't sure exactly where they were being kept yet, but that was their big thing, along with just saving the winery in general. All of you snuck forward, hid behind a small rock wall as she set off what looked like some sort of green firework explosion type thing into the east, and this huge swarm of ravens flocked overhead when this boom went off. It alerted most of the druids and these small blights or these twig blight things, and they all started moving towards that direction. That's when you guys made your break. Running across this yard, you got about halfway there before things started to get a little hairy. Caught the attention of a few of these twig blights that started coming towards you, along with a couple of druids. And in the distance, Vasily showed up out of the fog. Looked a little confused at first, but he was ready for a rampage apparently as you started killing blights like crazy. Mornak held back for a moment, waiting to make sure, as well as Mud. You guys were able to catch up with Vasily. Seemed like it was him for what you could tell anyway. Victor and Mornak and Dre ran ahead. Victor held the doors. Everybody tumbled into what looked to be like a supply closet. Pretty small room for the most part, with Vasily and Mud taking up the rears. They came in. Shut the door behind you. Did confirm that it was indeed Vasily, who seemed to have been lost somewhere in the mist for quite a while. Before you could delve too far into that, a few twig blights got into the room. He dispatched them. On the outside, there was these two forest folk, druid people, and a whole swarm of blights that were trying to bash in the door. Victor, you listened at the other door. You could hear people talking. You eventually opened up the door. You see a few twig blights in the distance scurrying around. A couple of these humanoid-looking blights up on the rafters above, along with a druid. And that is when combat started. So far, you guys have taken out all of the blights that were in the room that seemed to swarm ahead. They formed these bear-looking grouped together abomination things. You're able to take them out pretty quick. There was a much larger blight, which is actually basically a shambling mound, but this big, huge thing. It ended up knocking out Victor for a bit. I think it took down Mud. It was coming towards Mornak. That's when you guys used some fortune points and such. Got things back up and rolling. You did take that out, so that is gone as well. A couple well-placed spears and daggers from Dre took out the druid that was up on the rafter above as he ran forward. He was also able to do quite a bit of damage to one of the humanoid blight things that were up there, but both of them are still up. And as we ended the session, Victor, you saw you assume it's the leader druid or whatever he is, the chief, I guess, come into the room in the distance, but you took off after him out into the hallway on the other side of the room. And you could see it to your right as you came out this door. It looked like a barrel ramp that spiraled up to the floor above as well as down to the floor below. The druid took off up the ramp for that, and you threw your shield. It sounds like you hit him. You heard the grunt and the smash of your shield above, but as we ended that, you could see all these vines crawling down the ramp towards you. Big, thick, ropey vines full of spikes and small little flowers. Back into the room, let's see. Dre took a couple hits from these vine blade things. They were trying to grapple a hold of you. And then the door to the southern wall blasted open, and you can see the silhouette standing in the door, kind of this mist rolling around him. As it cleared up a little bit, you all saw Jack. Those of you that know Jack, anyway, saw him standing there. He looked ready for action as well, and a big smile on his face. And I think that was, oh, and then just as we ended it, the two druid warriors and the remaining of the twig blights burst through the door. They were headed all towards Vasily, who was the closest one to the door at the time. And they're just swarming through the doors. Surprisingly, it's actually 6 rounds we went through so far, so we'll pick it up at the beginning of the 7th round. But anybody want to add anything, or did I miss anything you wish to add? Wonderful. So I got the vines. All right. Looks like we are set then. So all of you will see Jack as he comes into this room, this big smile on his face as he glances around. You'll see he pulls out this serrated looking blade that he has. The others have seen it before and seen the tearing wounds that it causes. But you haven't actually seen him fight yet. And he'll glance around. Everybody will also see out to the door where Victor went. As you're standing in that doorway, Victor, when you glance to your right, you can see these vines coming down this walkway. But you hear this deep rumbling growl. And as you glance to your left, it's a pair of open stables to your left, and you're in sort of like a hallway, but it opens to the outside. Besides this spiraling barrel ramp to your right, it opens right up into the stables and then out into the main courtyard. You'll see this massive bear, largest bear you've probably could ever remember seeing, probably about 12 feet at shoulder haunches. These thick bone spurs stick out from its back, from the sides of it. Huge tusks come up on either side of its face. It's about 10 feet away from you and sort of crouched down a little bit in this very aggressive sort of stance as it takes a few steps forward. It's this deep growl just rumbling through your chest. And with that, who would like to go fast or slow?
Well, let's see. I'm thinking about my situation. I just fell unconscious and I just woke up, so I'm on the ground. So I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go fast just to get up and not be prone.
Gotcha.
Remind me that it was 2 druid warriors and a big pile of blights that are coming through the door towards Vasily.
So yeah, there's 2 forest warriors, and actually it's going to be 3 mobs of blight in the end. There's a total of 18 of them, but they go in groups of 6. So there's 3 mobs of these things coming through the door, and there's 2 of these humanoid blights up on the balcony with Dre at the moment.
All right, how close am I to Vasily?
You would be right in between him and the stairwell, so like 10 feet away, if that. You're pretty much right in between.
All right, I'll have to go slow because he's in between me and that pile, right?
Yes.
All right. I will have to go slow then.
Gotcha.
I think I'm going fast.
Gotcha.
I may go fast as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I threw 2 daggers into one of those blights that I'm up on the catwalk with.
Yep, one of them is pretty badly injured. You can see this thick greenish black sort of mucus just pouring from the wounds. The other one has not been injured at all, but the one that you had the daggers was pretty damn bad. I think you did 9 and 5 damage to it, so 14 total.
Pretty damage. No, I'm going to go slow.
Gotcha.
And I'll probably regret that.
Yeah, I think Victor's definitely going to regret this choice, but he's going to go slow as well.
All right. And Victor's going slow. In that case, whoops. Mornak, you will be up first. You're down at the bottom of the stairwell over next to Mud as well. So you're sort of in between. You can see the blights up above. They're going to be a short distance, about 20 yards away, if that. And then to your right is going to be the swarm that's coming through the door. They're also would be in short range of you.
Okay. I want to go ahead and cast Arcane Shield. That's the one that gives a Bane if they try and attack me.
Okay. Don't let me forget that. I'll mark it on here, though.
I guess rolls against agility and defense.
Attacks these Banes. All right. Just don't let me forget that if I attack you.
Oh, believe me, I.
That means, Vasily, you would be up next. As you can see, these things swarming through the door, but they're sort of like almost ants just crawling over top of one another as they just scramble towards you.
I just clamber up and stand up, and I start moving away as fast as I can. I'm going to use my quick step for being a fawn and move an extra yard just to get away.
Yep. So you're able to keep scurrying back. You could get right back behind Mud, basically, if you want to.
Okay.
And scurry back as this just swarm of these things comes towards you. You can see that they don't really have a set attack there or somebody specific to go for. They're just trying to mow down anything in front of them as they swarm forward. None of them are going for... Oh, yes, they have the blights. The two blights up by you, Dre. You can see both of them quickly sprint into action. One sort of reaches out its arm. You can see these long vines grow out off to the right. And you can see that it reaches over with these viney-like fingers and wraps them around a lever that's in the wall. And it gives it a pull down. Everybody downstairs can see that these huge vats, one of them is broken and cracked, but the other three remaining wine vats begin to lower down to the floor a little bit, and you see these big, heavy iron grates lift out of them. It looks like a grape crushers or something that will smash down and crush grapes as it starts to engage. The other one is going to make an attack at you, Dre.
Later.
And what is your defense, Dre?
15.
Beautiful. You will not get hit by that because I rolled an awesome one. So... you can see this one swipes. I was trying to entangle you. You can dodge under this quick swipe. It just grazes across your chin, but doesn't do anything major. They're the only two going quick. So, Dre, you are up.
Sweet. So I think for my first action, I will attack the one that's damaged.
Alrighty.
I've got my long knife, so I'll pull my long knife and have a swing. Oh no. Oh no, it's a 10. Thank God. 15?
Not quite. Oh, no! You can swipe through. You may chop off a few finger tendrils, maybe part of its arm you dig into, but it quickly rears back. It doesn't look like you've done anything significant to this thing. And it lets out this strange sort of a gurgling sound. You can hear it echoed by the one beside it, and then you can hear it echoed from, sounds like it's from behind where Jack is standing in the doorway.
Okay, that verifies me. Am I able to take another attack with my second action, or is that like more of a movement action?
Nope, it's more of a movement. You can't make an attack or spells. You could use an item or move, basically.
Gotcha. What I'll do is take a defensive action and sort of just get my center of gravity low and prepare for their counterattacks next round.
Right. Gotcha. And that would hop over to Mud. You can see this swarming, swarm of these things coming at you like a wave.
What I'd like to do is step forward till I'm almost pretty close up to the swarm. I'd like to kick over a barrel of wine or something, and as it spills out into the swarm, Mud will go like this, and just ice spikes will shoot up.
Nice.
From the wine. Effectively, I'm casting Ice Blast.
Alrighty.
2d6 plus 2 damage. They can make an agility challenge roll for half damage.
Let's see, I'll do it for all three.
I'm trying to get as much of them as I can because it's a cone 3 yards long. So if I can get the 2 hunters too.
All right. It's how you 3 yards.
3 yards long.
You'll
Original.
be able to get at least one. You won't be able to get the other one. He's kind of
Okay.
back a little bit, but yep, you can get one of the druids. So you're going to get all 3 mobs into one of the druids. Let's see what his. All right. 2 mobs pass and the druid passes. One of the mob fails. So what's the damage?
All right. So the damage is 10. 5 if they passed.
So 10. 5.
And that whole area is now difficult terrain.
Ooh, okay.
As the wine ice shards are sticking out of the ground everywhere.
Nice, that'll actually help. All right. You can see him trying to scramble through this. You're going to impale a good chunk of them as the swarm comes up, as well as one of the forest folk. He'll jump back. You feel these icicles still in his chest. The other one seems to be back a little bit, just a touch out of the hair of your spell, and he'll just quickly start swiping past these things. He has a large, it looks like an axe, but it's more made out of bone and pieces of wood. It's definitely sharp. It's got like jagged pieces of bone impaled into this club. And he just starts smashing bits and pieces of the icicles as he comes forward. That would put Victor up as you stand outside. To your right, this long tendril of vines are crawling down this rampway. And to your left is this bear, about 10 feet away.
Okay, and the bear is not like the plant bears that we saw earlier, right?
Nope, it's
an actual physical bear.
Yep, a dire bear, if that matters.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to say don't have time for you, bear, and try to jet out upstairs. Now, you said the vines are growing basically like downwards and they're starting to get spiky, but is there a way for me to like either run up the wall or use the wall and the banister and like climb up that way?
There's no banister or anything. It's basically just a spiral ramp that goes up.
So there's not like a handrail.
Nope. There's a small wall along either side, but it looks like something they put barrels on to roll them all the way down into the basement from upstairs. And the vines itself, if you try to go up there, you're going to be going right through the vines, which don't look pleasant, but...
And as far as I know, there's only one other way upstairs. And that's like back in the main room, the spiraling staircase.
The ramp that Dre is on, yes. That would take you upstairs as well, but it's hard to... You know that there's other doorways up there, but where exactly they lead to, you wouldn't know. But that is the upstairs as well.
Okay, and the door that I came through, did it have a lock on it?
Yes, it would have it on the inside. It opens inward, so you had to open it. Well, he opened it up, but it would close behind you, so it opens into where the vats are. So you'd close it on that side, and it can be barred.
Okay, I think that's what I'm going to do for now. And basically, like, run into the room, shut the doors, lock it, and just scream at the group, "Dire bear!" And then start running towards the center staircase. Can I make it in one movement, or do I need both?
Turning, shutting the door, locking that, and then turning and running would be both of your actions.
Okay.
Basically, a movement action, and then shutting the door and locking it is another action.
Well,
but you'll be able to make it all the way over to where, just behind Dre, if you're looking to go up the stairs.
Yeah, before I do, there's not any enemies that I can attack with that one movement, correct? Like within that area of that door.
No, unless you wanted to mess with anything with the bear, but otherwise.
I think I would actually move up to Dre, and actually I want to move in front of Dre, just basically like shield him, and like I know he could probably handle himself and probably got better AC than me, but like that's what Victor would do. Like he would just kind of like, I don't know if you would allow it, but just kind of grab him and pull him back just a little bit, and then stand in front of him so he would get hit instead of Dre.
Okay. Yeah, you can block him. Nice. You will, as you kind of come back into this room, you can slam that bar down, turn around. You can see Mud battling this swarm of things. Vasily just behind him. Mornek blasted off a few spells. It looks like he's this armor thing's going around him. Who is left? You'll see the huge vats finally lower themselves down to the floor, and these up above, it's on sort of like a piston, but it's this big, huge steel screen that smashes down into these wine vats, crushing the grapes, and they'll lift back up and slam back down, crushing. And you can see all these start to be engaged as they just start smashing whatever liquids and stuff. You can hear there's definitely grapes in these huge vats. With that, you'll see Jack take a few steps forward. He has this huge smile. Be like, looks like we're having a bit of fun here, hey, boys? You'll take a few steps forward. Behind him, you'll see this fog that seems to be rolling out of the door. It's almost like it's following him. You can see these long tendrils kind of come up over his shoulders of this fog, a few around his waist. His face turns from that to this, like he's about ready to have a bit of fun, to one of frustration. You can see this fog, almost like real-life tendrils and skeletal hands reach out and start to grab a hold of him and pull him back as he starts to move forward. And he'll look around. You can see he's fighting against these things. He's like, you rotten bastard. As he starts to get pulled away from this mist, all of you are going to hear this soft chime, sort of like a child's music box in the air. And the fog itself takes on the form of this very fat, obese, nobility-looking man. It's very skeletal in the face. And all of these tendrils and hands and claws reaching out for him to grab a hold of Jack, and it's pulling Jack away from all of you back out the door again as he fights against it. And on the other side of this door that you slammed shut, Victor, all of you can hear this heavy thudding, and then you just see a whole glob of claws come through the side of this door and begin to shake it as this bear is on the other side, nearly ripping the door off of its hinges in one blow. And that is the end of the round. Who would like to go fast or slow?
What about the swarm? Not that I want to remind you.
No, they're going to be, because they're slowed by your thing, they're only taking a movement action, so they can't do anything besides move. So.
And just so you know, that ends at my turn.
Okay.
So
Same with the other guy. Oh, sorry. Dre is fast.
well, just really quick, with the fast, like I still get basically like one action with the fast, right?
Yep, you still get an action, either move or any action you want.
Okay, and is grapple like considered, or no? So I get any move. Okay, so never mind.
Yep.
Victor will go fast.
Victor's fast. Did you say fast, Ray?
Yes, thank you.
Gotcha. Mornak, Vasily, Mud.
I will go slow.
Is there anything in the room that we can use to block the door?
There's plenty of barrels and pallets and crates and stuff like that. There's a huge broken wine vat.
I'll go slow then.
Actually, thank you for reminding me, Warnick. The blights and all coming in, they're just swarming. No, there's no. All right. How often were those things hitting the ground, the smashers?
Every few moments they'll rise up. Probably takes like 10 seconds at most before they rise up and then drop back down. Rise up, drop back down.
Okay, yeah, I still want to go slow then.
Okay, gotcha. Mornak, did you say fast or slow?
Slow.
Slow, gotcha. And Vasily.
Fast.
Sweet. Let's see. In that case, that ain't gonna matter. Yeah, you'll see these huge things rise up, and they all sort of match in unison as they rise up and then smash down into the vat. The furthest vat, not the one that is broken and stuff, but it would be the third one in, or the farthest away from you guys. But you can hear this grunt, and then this sounds like a scream from inside of it. As one of these huge grates comes smashing down, and it sounds like whimpering from within the grate, or from the vat. It's about 15 foot high and about 10 feet around, so you can't see into it though. And Dre, you would be up first.
Alrighty. I made two very grave errors on my last turn, so let's not do that again, shall we? This time I'll roll with my two boons. So that's a good start with my long knife. Okay, that's so much better. Let's call that a 21.
That
21.
is, yep, that's a hit.
No, that'd be a 23. I beg your pardon.
Even better.
And then also when I'm using my long knife, I actually get to make attacks against agility, not defense. So
Alrighty.
would a 15 have hit?
Yes.
Oh no! Okay, it doesn't really matter. We move on. All right, let's do some damage. Okay, so this is against the guy who's pretty beaten up.
Okay.
That'll be 6 damage. And if he's still alive, did I beat the?
He is dead.
Oh, baby!
You did beat it by 5 more, but he is dead. Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. My triggered action is against the same target.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and describe what you do to kill this thing then.
Well, I'm just going to be using Victor as a bit of a buffer, and because Victor's more the stoic, defensible position, I'll use that as a distraction to whip myself around and just put a dagger into a vulnerable spot that I find.
Yes. You can see in the chest of these things is sort of like this, where the heart would be, but it looks like a hard knot of wood, about the size of a baseball, that's right in their chest that you can bury your dagger into. And it lets out this gurgle sort of sound and then falls to the ground. Most of the vegetation, what it's made of, just rots away, just leaving this hard knock of wood. Vasily, you are up.
So how much of the horde is left?
There would be 2 full mobs still, and the other mob is down to 2. So there's actually 6, 12, 14 of them left.
14 of them left, and there's 2 druids.
Correct. Yep.
And Jack, he got pulled away.
The door's still open, but yeah, you can see this fog that is manifested, sort of ghostly-like apparition of this fat, noble-looking guy, but he's just clawing at him with these tendrils and hands, pulling him away out the door.
Out the door, the way the swarm came?
Nope, it's a door to your south.
Oh, the door where the bear
It's basically the front door to the building.
Okay. I see. Holy crap. Well, one of the druids that I see, I'm going to just reach my finger out and I'm going to cast Spectral Hand on him. A ghostly spectral hand just appears and floating in front of me and reaches out and flies straight towards him. I'm making an agility attack roll against him. An attack roll against his agility.
Go ahead and do that with a boon as the air closes around the hand and kind of solidifies it some.
Ooh, okay. So that is a 20.
That will be a hit.
And is that 5 or more above?
Yes, it is.
He takes 5 damage and he makes his next attack with 1 bane, rather.
Did you want that on the one that was partly injured or the non-injured one?
Let's do the partly injured one.
Gotcha. And he's got a bane. Gotcha. Beautiful. And that would hop over to Victor as you're standing on this. You can see Dre behind you come around and bury his long knife into the chest of this thing as it starts to rot away on the ground. There's another one standing right there, though.
Okay. I'm going to just say what I would like to do. You tell me what I need to roll or if that's even possible. But I would love to just like bear grab basically this last one. And ironically that I say bear grab because I'm going to chuck him towards the bear.
Towards the door where the bear is anyway? Which is,
yeah.
Yes, definitely coming through. So if you're basically trying to grapple him, it is opposed strength checks.
Okay.
Let's see. Oof, I got a 17 that you need to beat.
I got a 17 actually.
You players win ties, so you will get to that. He can try to break free on his turn, but as long as you can hold it until your next turn, you can throw him or push him or put him in a grapple or whatever you want to do to him, basically.
Okay. Awesome.
They're all dead. That puts this one Vine Blight. He's going to try to break free using agility. He's got a bane. You can use strength or agility to hold on to him. It doesn't matter. And I got a 12. So as long as you beat a 12, you keep a hold of him. Whoops, you're muted, Victor.
Wait, sorry. Say that again.
I got a 12. You can use strength
Oh.
or agility to keep a hold of them, but you'd have to be a
I'm
12.
super sorry. Like, oh, well, I got distracted, and I rolled a 1, so this die is fired. So,
You can see this thing, it's almost shape shifts in your arms as you try to hold on to it. A lot of the vines start to kind of pull themselves in. And it basically just kind of floods out, almost liquid-like, as it pulls between your arms and starts to reform again in front of you as it pulls free. But that was its turn. So they're all going slow because they're slowed. So Mornak, you are up.
Okay. What I want to do is I want to go grab one of those crates and drag it over to the door and just see if I can put it in front of it.
Totally.
The door with the dire bear.
Yep. I'll basically just add the crate to the hit points of the door. Give me a 1d20 roll. Let's see how strong that crate is.
9.
9. All right. Now we'll add that right to the hit points of the door as it tries to tear it down. So yeah, you'd be running over as you try to pull this thing over and pull it in front of the door and kind of slam it up there the best that you can, get it into place. You can see the bear on the other side is just tearing the hell out of this door, trying to get through. That's what puts Mud. You are up.
All right, so if the description I understood was correct, one of the crushers, the vat is broken, so now it's just coming down into open air.
Correct.
All right. Here's what I would like to do. Since it's my turn, the ice shards of wine just kind of melt back down into liquid. And as soon as they do, Mud is going to first fire lightning right into it for essentially using fork lightning on the 2 druids. I make a will attack against agility.
Agility isn't very good. 11 is the 11 is their agility.
That's a natural 1. So even with a boom's not going to help me. And then now that I have attention, Mud is going to turn around and try to run to where that crusher is coming down and kind of right on the other side of it. So that way it's coming down in between me and this swarm. So if they start coming and swarming over me, it's a very, very ugly Mario level.
Gotcha. As you run over there, you can definitely hear on the third vet end, which is basically where you'd be running right next to that one. Sounds like there's somebody inside of it. Every time this huge grate comes down to crush the grapes inside, you can hear a whimper or a cry of pain. But it's, like I said, it's 15 feet high, so you can't actually see into it, but you can definitely hear it. And you were done. Drag, guys, don't forget about Drag's ability. And that puts the mobs up. They're going to basically just move because they're getting through your slow thingy there. So that doesn't matter. One warrior folk will be able to stop at least next to Vasily, though. Other rest are caught between everything. So you see one with this huge bone shard club come at you, Vasily. Oof. I rolled a 3, so it's not going to do anything as he swings this huge club in front of you. It grazes across your face a little, just tickling your nose, but not able to really do anything. You can all hear Jack as he's screaming out this door and gets pulled back by the fog, and then the door just slams behind him. You can hear him out there cursing and swearing, the stomping of his feet. And you can hear, sounds like he's bashing on the floor or the wall or something with his weapon as he's trying to fight whatever it is that's got a hold of him. Up above, you'll hear this window smash, and you can look up and you see this huge flock of ravens just pouring through the window above, and they all swarm down on these blights, picking at them, tearing at the vines, the flowers, the thorns on these things, and just shredding the hell out of this swarm of blights. And behind that, you'll see this rope drop down as Stefania will slide down this rope into the room. And let's see what the bear does to this door. So you can see this bear in front of you, Mornek, as you slide over this grate and slam it up against the wall. Just as this grate hits the wall, on the other side, you can hear the door just completely ripped off the hinges as this bear starts to push through, starts to slam down on these grates, just splintering the crate that you slammed up there. It's still there a little bit just on the other side. You can see this massive, dire muzzle of this creature in between the slats of wood as its jaws snap in your direction. It doesn't look like this crate is going to hold it much longer that you have there. And that is the end of the round. And who would like to go fast or slow?
Victor fast.
So Victor is fast.
Ray will go slow.
Dre is, whoops.
I'll go fast.
Dre is slow. Vasily is fast.
Am I in medium range of the druids?
Yes.
Okay, I want to go fast.
Mornek is fast. That just leaves Mud.
I'm gonna go fast this time.
All right. And that puts Mornek. You would be up first.
Okay, I'm going to guess that these druids have more than 5 for their intellect. So I'm going to go ahead and try and mind stab one of them.
All right.
It's an intellect roll against the target's intellect.
Ooh, that's not very good either.
Yeah, it's good enough because I rolled a 2 on the die.
Their intellect is only an 8, but
Let me see what my bonus is, but I'm pretty sure it's not high enough. Well, my intellect is 3, so I managed to squeak out a 5.
not quite.
Is it too late for me to give him a boon?
No, not at all.
I'm not really quite sure how to do this one with the frost, but I'm gonna
No. You're gonna cast, and it's gonna make a halo of ice around my forehead.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead and give yourself a boon.
Okay, rolled a 5 on the boon, so that's a 10.
That'll hit. You want to go against the one that is already partly injured or the one that is uninjured?
The uninjured one.
Okay.
And this is going to do 1d6 plus 6. So let me roll that.
You could have always gave him an ice cream cake.
And that's going to be 10 damage.
Nice.
Yes, ice cream sandwich.
Don't forget this round, guys. We do have the NPCs.
Drag hit. 1d6 damage bonus. And Mornek's done.
What did you say we have this round?
The NPC that's with us, we get to use him once per round as an extra 1d6 damage.
Oh, okay.
And that puts Vasily up next.
How many of these things are in front of me? Or within... One just swung at me with his bone club. How many?
Yep.
Is there just one nearby?
Nope, there's 2 forest folk warrior dudes, and both of them are injured pretty decently. And then there's the swarm of blights that are rolling across the floor towards where Mud is at the moment.
All right, I ball my hands up in front of me, and shadow strands just start forming around me, and I just like pull up out of the ground my shadow creature that I've summoned before, and this giant spindly-legged creature made of complete shadow just comes out, and it's going to make a frenzied attack against both of them with 1 bane.
All right.
So I rolled a 14 and a 1 on the bane, so it's a 13.
That is still a hit.
Oh, okay. So one takes 9 points of damage, the other one takes 7 points of damage.
Oof. You see this thing just tears into both of these. They're barely left standing, both of them bleeding pretty bad. As one of them, you can see this shadow creature severs off one of the whole arms, and this dude looks completely mutilated, but he is still standing, this growl on his face. Mud, you are up. You got 14 blights that are swarming towards you.
Did I
Pretty
get one of
quickly.
them, or did they both go down, or just one of them?
Neither one went down, but
Either
one.
one went down. Okay.
Nope, but they're very, very close. You just watch this huge crushing thing above you. It doesn't look like it's going to come down in time to stop them as they're swarming towards you, Mud.
Does it look like if they swarm onto me, it might come down next round?
By the way the initiative goes, it'll come down right after they reach you. Basically, just they go before it comes down. Which is really just a roll of the dice because the crusher thingies are based on a random number of where they go.
All right. I would step forward one step and fire off the fork lightning at the two harassing Vasily.
Alrighty. And that is against their agility?
Yes, it is, and it's a natural 20.
Oh, that's definitely a hit then, yeah.
Which, if it's 20 or more, they don't happen to be wearing metal, do they?
No, they are not. They're not that sophisticated.
So, if nobody minds, well, hold on. It's 2d6 since it's over 20 plus 2 for a total of 7. You said the one was pretty beat up?
Yeah. Is that 7 to both of them?
Yes.
You're going to take them both out.
Okay. So I'm not going to use the NPC.
Go ahead and describe what that looks like.
So I think as the I think we're going to kind of keep things going the same way as Vasily's shadow creatures flailing around and knocking over barrels. As soon as one hits and starts pulling up around the feet of them, Mud will reach out and fire the lightning at one, and it'll just jump between them because they're both in the same liquid.
Nice. And yeah, both of them are just left as this smoking, blackened, crispy husks on the floor. The whole room smells of burnt flesh and hair.
So, and just to clarify, with his 1 or 2 steps forward before the end of my turn here, what he was doing there was putting himself, preparing to get swarmed and putting himself under the grate for when it comes down.
All right. And that puts Victor, you are up. There is one Vine Blight left in front of you. He is actually not taking damage yet. He was the one controlling the levers. But yeah, this is the one you tried to grapple to, but it looks like he's getting ready to, retaliate. But you are up first.
You did say that this is the one that is controlling the levers?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he initiated them, but he's not doing it anymore. He just turned it on.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to try to kill this guy. Come on. D20. Don't roll a 1 this time. It's not a 1, but that is an 11, 12, 13.
Not quite.
Okay.
And again, this thing, it just seems to move very...
Is he within sight of me?
Yes.
So since my turns went around, as he swings and it looks like he's going to miss.
A boon will not help. I will just go ahead and just save you there because I rolled a 5 on my boon. So even with a 6...
okay, I didn't realize you were rolling.
Yeah, because I get a boon every time I roll. So
Sorry.
unless I get a bane to cancel that out. So
Gotcha. All right.
Nope, and yeah, even a 6 would still be off by a little, so even if you did get a 6, save it. And yeah, this thing just seems to dodge and weave underneath that. And with that, this mob is going to roll forward, hit you, Mud. Let's see. 3, I got a, 21, I'm assuming is a hit.
Yes.
A 21, which I'm assuming is a hit. And that's definitely not a hit. So 2 are going to hit you. Let's see, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 damage as these things just swarm over top of you. You can feel all of the claws digging in teeth gnashing, thorns tearing through your flesh.
Okay.
And with that, the crusher is going to come down. Are you still standing?
I am.
I need an agility challenge roll then with 2 banes.
Is this to resist an attack?
Yeah, it's essentially an attack, so yeah.
All right. I will. I will burn one of my spell slots to get rid of one of them banes.
Okay.
Divine Cause. You kind of see his eyes glass, his one eye glass over for a second before he goes to move. 8.
It is not quite. And you can all look over as Mud gets swarmed by these crawling blights that just mow him down, weigh him down to the ground. And then above him, this huge crushing grape crusher thing lets loose as it drops. 10 damage you're going to take, and they're going to take 12.
I think as this thing is coming down and Victor sees this, like he's going to salute to Mud.
You all see this thing smash down the grunt, and there's this thick pool of blood, of slime, rotting vegetation as it lifts back up. There's only 3 blights out of the 14 that were there that are still up and moving. Is Bud still up?
No. As a matter of fact, as the thing rises, you'll actually see a bunch of the branches and all that the grinder pushed them right through Mud's armor. And the pieces of the plates are sticking out of them.
And that puts the vine blight up. You are right in front of that thing, Victor. 18 hit.
Yeah, it hits definitely.
And 5 points of damage as it just reaches out, and you can see all these vines and thorns just branch out from its arm. Sort of smashes you in the face. Bits and pieces of it dig through your throat into your shoulders as it rips it back out again. And that puts Dre. You are up.
Okay, so there's still one blight up here.
Yep, there's
You're an eye.
that blight has still not been injured either. He's still at full health, and then there's 2 of the druids down below you, but this one is right there in your face.
Okay, if he's in our face, I'm gonna fuck him up. Okay, so using my long knife, which means I make the attacks against his agility.
Alrighty.
Oh, baby! Oh, what's that? That would be 15.
That'll be a hit.
Yeah. Okay, let's do damage. Ugh. 4 damage.
Better than none as you lop off a bit of vines, a few fingers, and the thing recoils back after smashing into Victor. Down below, actually it would be the druid guy's turn, but they are dead.
Does Drag have a ranged weapon?
Yes, he does. I was going to say you might want to use that because it would be the end of the round right now, so you might as well add that
what's
to
his
your
ranged weapon?
crossbow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just point at the druid and encourage Drag to take a shot at it. And that's just a straight 1d6 on top of my damage.
Yep.
How does 6 damage sound, baby?
Nice. And yeah, right after you pull your long knife free, another bolt slams into this thing. As you can see Drag come up behind you, starting to come up the stairs as he takes aim once more. Stefania will drop down to the floor. She'll run over to where you are, Mud, and just begin. She has what looks to be daggers, sort of, but they have 3 blades on them, 1 long one in the middle and 2 on either side, sort of like a 3-pronged blade of some sort, 1 in each hand. And just, let's see if she can take out a couple of these blades. Oh, yeah. As she comes in, you'll see her just tear apart these 3 blades there's only going to be 1 left around you, Mud. Tears into them, and then she'll drop down to a knee. You see she's fishing around in a pouch that she has, and she takes out what looks to be a small blueberry or potentially a grape, and she starts to press it into one of these wounds on your body, Mud. Give me a strength challenge roll, Mud, with 1 boon.
Oh. 2 on the die, 1 on the boon.
All right. Well, Good thing is it's still going to heal you, just not as well. But you're going to heal 1d3 hit points.
You want to roll that, or you want me to?
Nope, go ahead.
2.
2. So give yourself 2 hit points. And with seeing your eyes open, she'll sort of grab you. She's fairly bit stronger than what she looks as she sort of grabs a hold of your armor, your chest, and heaves you back up. So that way you're on your feet. And let's see, there's 1 blight left, but his turn is over. I think this bear. Oh yeah, he'll completely demolish this crate behind you, Mornek. So as you let loose this mind blast on this one druid, you can see he goes up holding it his head before he goes down underneath the silly shadow monster. But behind you can hear the smashing what's left of this door in this crate. As you look over your shoulder, Mornek, you're face to face with this bear, this heavy, hot, steaming breath on yours. It smells of rotting flesh, decay. You can pretty sure you see somebody's hand is still sort of caught between a few of his teeth. And actually, the raven swarms are up, and they're going to take out the last of the blight, so he is gone. You see black feathers just explode around this room as this blight, well, a couple are left, slashes at these ravens that tear it down. There's still a handful of ravens left. A bunch of them are scattered across the floor, feathers and raven blood, but there's a few ravens still left. That is the end of the round. Everybody's up. Yep. So who would like to go fast or slow?
How far away am I from this bear?
He is on the opposite side of the room. Let me bring up my map. He would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet.
25 feet. I will go slow.
Let's see. Vasily is slow. Gotcha.
The endurance healing thing, that is a normal action, right?
Yep.
And then can you use your move action for other things, or does it have to be for like a move?
It has to be a move or a move-based action, like taking a defensive action or using an item like a healing potion.
So, like me reaching over and grabbing this lever and lifting it up, that's technically move?
Yep, that would be a move, yep.
Okay. All right, then slow.
Victor is slow, gotcha.
So there's no immediate threats besides for the bear?
There's one, oh no, the blight's gone. So there's one vine blight, which Dre and Victor are currently dealing with, and the bear that's charging into the room on the other side, yes.
I will go slow.
Gotcha.
Now this bear that's in my face, does it have an
Sorry, say that again. Does it have a what?
does it have an intellect of 5?
It does not. It's basic animal, so 3.
Okay. Then I want to go slow.
You want to go slow. And who missing? Dre. You're muted, by the way, bud.
Hello. I will.
Let's see, this vine blight in front of you is looking pretty rough.
And Victor, is Victor going fast or slow?
Slow. Everybody's going slow, actually, so
Okay.
far.
I'll go fast. Let's just top this guy off.
Awesome. So in that case, it will be Dre. You are up first then.
All right, let's put some hurt on this boy.
Get a good hit in there and you could probably take him out.
Well, it's a good hit. That'll to 21. Oh, it's over 20. So do I beat that by 5 if I'm hitting his
Agility? Yes, you do.
Okay, let's do some damage. Oh, that's 11 damage.
That will take him out.
God
Only
damn.
needed to do 9. So go ahead and describe how you take him out.
I don't see these kills as very glamorous. Like I'm using Victor as a meat shield and just kind of like ducking and darting around Victor as he swings. It's almost as if Victor's intentionally missing just to draw Strahrd's attention. And then I'm coming in on the offsides to just, stab and slash,
Nice.
and then waiting for that moment to strike at that wooden heart or wooden nut.
Yep, and like all the others, this vines, the vegetation, this thing decays into this pile of swampish muck, just leaving this whole knock of wood that lies on the floor in place. And oops, let me check that off. And I hate to do it, Mornak, but that bear is going fast. So what is your defense?
My defense is 15, and
Bane,
it has
right?
that bane. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, bears in this game are absolutely tanks. Let's see what we got.
I still don't know why we had to add the bear.
Because the druid likes to drive around bears. That's what he does. Just be glad he's not here to control it. Oh, man. Okay. And he has a bane on that. So the first, what does he get? He gets 2 attacks. The first one is going to be a 13. I think was a miss.
Yes.
That one will be a 20 minus 3 is a 17.
That one's going to hit.
And if one hits, he gets a third maul attack. And that one is going to be 16 minus 2, 14.
That one will not hit.
All right, you're lucky on that then. So it's only going to do 2d6 plus 13 damage. 13, 19, 20 damage.
Okay, I am down by 5.
It'll only go up to your max hit points, so don't go like negative numbers or go above your damage threshold.
Okay, then I am down.
Yeah, it does plus 13 on every attack, so if it hits with all 3, it's going to do at least 39 damage.
Can I do a... oh, this isn't my turn. This is the bear's turn. Sorry.
So you guys will see Mornak as he goes down. This bear doesn't even wait. It just plows forward, crushing him under its claws, and throwing his body to the side as it charges in. In this case, it would be headed. It would be towards Mud and Stefani. You guys would be the next closest one as this thing charges forward. You guys are up though. So let's see, Vasily, you are up now.
So I scream and point at the bear and tell my shadow monster, "Charge! Kill it!" It's just going to lope across the ground and try to attack it.
All right.
Attention. So that is plus 2, so that's a 13.
Right on the money.
Right, so it does 7 points of slashing damage as it comes in with its shadow claws and rips into it.
Nice.
And I'm going to cast. I'm going to cast Spectral Hand on it. So I'm going to fire off a skeletal hand. It's going to go flying at it.
Okay.
That's
I think I'm going to do the same thing and kind of lean it over, reach out, and solidify the hand a little bit as it goes flying, give it a boom.
okay. So that's 18.
That'll be a hit.
This might be a good time to use the NPC for the extra 1d6.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, it does 3 points of damage. He's going to make his attacks for this next round with a bane.
Okay.
And the NPC, he fires off at him, but only does 1 point of damage.
What did your shadow monster do, too?
He just charged at him, and with his claws, he starts slashing at him, at the bear.
Oh, he didn't do any damage, yeah?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, did 7 points of
7.
damage.
Oh, okay, I missed that.
This thing will rear back a little bit as it comes back down, facing off against this shadowy creature. That puts Mud up next.
This thing's blocking my path to Mornak.
Well, you basically have just a couple feet in front of you is the shadow monster and then it. So yeah, I mean, you could try to get around it, but you'll kind of incur its attack. So.
All right, well, I think Mud's going to kind of step around, not within range. Like, I know I'm not going to get to Mornak, but I want to start working my way around the edge towards Mornak. And as he goes, he's just going to start ripping the pieces of blights out of him, effectively spending a endurance point
All right.
to heal my rate.
So spend your endurance for your standard action and start making your move around him. You would basically meet Mornek at the end of this round. You'd be able to get over to him.
Okay.
And that puts a Victor up. Up in front of you, you can see Dre took out this last vine blight. So it's just this long scaffolding on either side. Either direction, there's a doorway. To your left is what you assume would be to the upstairs of where this druid went. But down below, you can see this huge shadow monster battling off against this bear. Mornek is down, and this thing's charging through. What do you do?
I think Victor would reach out and grab that lever because he did say we heard noises from one of the bats.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, he would grab that lever and flip it up, and then after that, he would kind of just stand there quiet for like a split second, and then just basically yell at the top of his lungs. It's basically like he's literally pushing the pain out of his head and out of his body, and he's basically healing himself using the endurance point.
Gotcha. One of these huge things will drop down as it starts to crush once again as you hit this lever. It'll stop just a few inches above your head of this shadow creature and the bear. And that's everybody besides... Yeah, this bear is going to use its action 2, though, since it gets 2. So you can see this bear charges forth. It looks like it's coming towards you, Mud, before the shadow creature gets in front of it. And it just unleashes on the shadow creature. What's the thing's defense?
13.
I got a 19 and a 20, 29, or 26, which the third one's going to hit. Still going to do 13 and 26. 39 points of damage to the shadow creature.
Yeah, it just rips it into shreds of smoke that dissipate into the air.
As it continues to plow through this thing, it'll sort of rear back, seeing you trying to get around it, Mud, as its eyes set on you. And this turns its gaze from Mornak on the ground to Mud, to Vasily that's off to it, and Stefania.
That was with one blight, one boon, right?
Yep, Bane.
Yeah,
One Bane.
Yeah, okay.
And it still has one more action, so it's going to come in at Stefania since she's right there. Ooh, only once, so Stefania. You'll see Stefania as this thing comes forward. It looks like it's kind of looking at you for a second, but it takes a few steps forward, letting out this growl. And then you can see that it lunges forth towards you. Just as you're off to the side, Stefania will stand in the way of this thing. Sort of jumps in, trying to give you time to reach Mornak, but it just completely swipes her. You can see this huge claw come across, and it throws her across the room. She crumples like a rag down to the corner against one of these vats. Looks like she might be alive, but she is out. And that would be the end of the round. And
That would be the beginning of the round, right?
that's the end of...
Oh,
Bear went twice through the turn.
So there's things called epic monsters, and that's basically what the bear is, and he gets 1d3 plus 1 actions a turn. And I rolled 3 from last time.
awesome.
So,
Morgan, I didn't get a chance to go, and I need to use my fortune point.
all right, you would be up at the end of the round since this thing knocked you out. My bad. So you would basically use your fortune point now, or you could try to roll to save yourself to try and save that fortune point. I would roll the 1d6 first because you might get a 6.
Might roll a 1, too.
Yeah, but he can at least use his fortune point then, at least.
Oh,
So.
okay.
I got a 5.
All right. So yeah, nothing would happen as far as that goes. So yeah, if you want to use your fortune point you can automatically save, which gets you back up at 1 hit point, and then you could take your action.
I'd not to be a little too meta here, but I did. The healer just worked his way around you.
Yeah, you would have.
Okay, good point. Okay,
Yeah.
I will save that fortune point.
You may stand back up just to have Mud punch you back down again. So
He punches me and then I heal damage.
that would be fun.
So yeah, save that fortune point because Mud might be able to heal you up. That way you don't use it if you don't have to.
Okay, well, then I lay on the ground and kind of groan.
And
The bear, to get the lay of the land, the bear is away from me and Dre. He's next to Mud
Yep.
and Mornak.
so yeah, the bear is downstairs, and it's sort of the bear is in the center of the room. Off to one side of it is Mornak on the ground, where Mud is now standing next to. This huge shadow creature is still just dissipating away. It bashed Stefania across the room over by where you guys entered the room initially, from over to the side where she's crumpled down on the ground, and Vasily is standing in front of it at the moment.
Okay, so the bear is downstairs. I'm upstairs.
Mhm.
Would it be considered a move action or an attack? Me jumping off? Because I haven't declared fast or slow.
If you're just jumping off to try and jump down onto it, then that would be a move. It would just be like part of your action, part of your attack.
No, I want to jump off and like stab it like as I'm coming down.
Right. Yep. That would still be just like one action since you're attacking it at the same time. So yeah.
Okay, so I will go fast then.
Victor's fast. Gotcha.
Mud will be fast.
Gotcha.
Don't sound
Ray
so
will go slow.
disappointed there, Mud, on saying fast.
Dre is
I
slow.
was trying to decide if I want to heal Mordak and then run away, or just heal Mordak.
And as soon as you are up, you'll basically get an action more next. So that might be, if it's up fast, then you can still take it faster. You can move it slow, but we'll basically just hold yours blank at the moment. And so
Okay.
Vasily, fast or slow?
Fast.
Vasily is fast. And I'm going to use this bear's action to go before you can go, Vasily. This thing will turn, seeing Mornak get around to the side, and turns towards you. He still have that bane? Do they still have that bane?
Some players call it cheating, but we call it the GM's prerogative.
That's right.
It was just for its next attack.
Okay.
So it's gone.
Well, 5, 6 is 11. I'm assuming that misses. 16, 20 is going to hit. 14 and a 19.
Who's he going for?
Vasily.
Oh yeah. I'm at 15.
Okay, so the first one missed, but it's still going to be 31 points of damage, Vasily.
I am
Holy crap.
I am completely dead.
This thing will turn as it swats Stefania out of the way, coming around, and just completely disembowels Vasily as he's standing there, this huge claw swiping across his chest, his gut. With that, this growl turns back over its shoulder, looks up the stairwell at the dragon. Victor looks much too big to fit up the stairwell. Turns, growls towards Mud, and you can see it starts moving in your direction, Mud. And
I changed my mind. I want to go slow and run up the stairwell.
Just my end scene is that as I'm disemboweled, I pull my book out and the pentagram burns on the front and smoke pours out of my eyes, and I'm just sitting there clutching onto my book.
you would be up first in that case, Vasily, so I need a death roll.
Oh, I'm completely dead. That was more than my health.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
Oh,
Oh,
it was, yes, if it's more than what your health is, then you would be down, yes.
oh boy.
If anybody wants to use a fortune point, that's about your only option. But you would have to do that on your turn. So we'll let it hang. In that case, Mud, you are up.
I am just going to reach down and mutter a couple of words next to Mornak's head and put my hand on his chest, and the wounds all start to ice over and all and heal up. Mornak will notice at some point later on that he's got frostbite scars where the bear's claws were, but they're healed up.
Yes.
So I'm sorry that's using my that's great. 3 damage. Don't worry, you'll survive the bear.
So you got 3 hit points, Mornak, that you're up. So if you want to take a fast action, you can, or do you want to hold up for being slow?
No, I want to go ahead and take an action.
Yeah. All right. You'd be up for Victor. So in that case, you would be up then, Mornak.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and shoot off a magic dart at this stupid bear. I'm assuming that I have complete view of it, correct?
Oh, yeah, totally. It takes up only most of the room, so.
Okay, so that automatically hits for 3 points of damage.
blasting. You can see bits of fur and bare flesh as they fly across the room as you strike this thing. It'll let off this deep growl as it continues to move towards Mud and Mornak. Victor, you are up.
Seeing Vasily fall down, and he already lost his imaginary friend once. Like, he is just going to scream out Vasily. The first time he actually, says his name this entire adventure so far, and he's going to jump off the balcony with his, bastard sword coming down on top of this bear.
So I will give it your choice then. You can have one Bane and get an additional 1d6 roll, or you can just straight up attack it with whatever your normal is. But if you want to do an extra 1d6 damage, you get one Bane.
Give him 6 boons, he's still going to miss.
Yeah,
It wasn't that difficult to hit. I hit it with a 13.
Yeah, but this is this is Victor swinging.
Yeah, I'm getting a boon every roll anyways.
Take the Bane. I'm going to give you a boon.
Okay, I'll take it.
Victor would miss the floor if he swung at it.
I still
And actually, how I'll give the boot is as the thing's running under Victor and I see that he's about to jump, I'll actually kind of slick into the ground under the bear. So that way it slows down enough for him to jump down.
Nice. So
Okay.
do you attack like normal?
I got a 17. So
That'll be
Yeah!
yes.
Do you want to? You got drag still too.
If you guys don't mind, I will
Yeah,
use him.
sure.
So yeah, so that's 3, and then I don't have enough d6s.
I like the sound of that.
15. That's 20 damage as Victor plunges his bastard sword into the back of this bear, and he is standing there, he's got it sword into him, but he is standing there proud, he
You
did
come-
something proud.
You
So
come
he-
down on the back of this bear. You can see everybody that watches as he leaps down through. His sword is going to tear right through the back of this creature, right down through the front of it, and bury itself into the floorboards, completely through the chest cavity of this thing. And this bear just roars and rears back. You can see a heavy claw tries to kind of get to it. Its head swings around. It is still up.
Describe the bear as upset. Maybe a little miffed.
Minorly inconvenienced.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, he's saying it's a flesh wound.
Yeah.
It's just a flesh wound.
I will say that this thing is at least immobilized. Also, you pinned it down to the ground with the sword as it cleaves down into the floorboards.
Oh, okay.
And let's see, Victor went, and it's just the bear and Dre. Yeah, with this thing, with him doing that, I'm going to say the bear takes his other action now. Give me an, how about I'll let you pick, Victor, either a strength challenge roll to hold on to this thing or an agility challenge roll not to be thrown off, depending on which way you want to do it. That's for Victor. You muted?
I am muted, but I didn't say anything. I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm
He's
actually
going to try to throw you off, basically.
yeah.
Well,
I should do the strength, but I'm actually going to do the agility just because it kind of makes a little bit more sense in my head. He's thrashing around, so it makes a bit more sense. So, this dice is fired. So that's another one. Technically, I got a 2. So I got 2 d20s left to roll before they get fired.
Burn those dice.
Yes, this thing thrashes around. You'll be thrown to the ground from it. You can feel your hilt of your sword slip free in between the blood and the sweat and everything else that's in this room. You're going to be thrown to the ground. And the last you see is this huge claw coming down towards your skull. Just going to use 114, 20 hit, Victor, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a 20 definitely hits.
Well, on the plus side, I rolled 2 1s. Snake eyes from damage, so 13, 15 damage.
I think I only had 9 hit points, so yeah, I'm gone too. Or I'm at 30, so.
Nice. You will see Victor get thrown to the ground and this huge maw of a hand come down, smash down onto his skull. This thing just roars in place. It starts to pull itself free. As it kind of pulls across, the sword itself just digs deeper and deeper into this thing as it starts to break free. That leaves Dre. You are up.
Okay.
This thing is bloodied like hell.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it to my party. Do we want to see something cool or do we want to see something conservative? What would you rather see?
Whichever is going to do the most damage.
Yeah,
Whatever's gonna save my life.
Cool it is. Let's do it. Okay.
Everybody cannot see because they're unconscious.
I was gonna turn and grab my spear from the wall, but seeing Victor go down, I think my best course of action will be to take a running jump off the catwalk, and I'm not going to land on the bear. I'm going to land, I guess, like sort of next to the bear,
Mhm.
so that I can get an attempt at its neck with my long knife.
All right.
Yes, Daddy!
Go for it.
Oof. Although this is against its agility, not defense, so that would be 13.
That's a hit.
Oh my god! Thank God.
It only has 2 damage left, so
Oh really? Oh my God. Okay. It's gonna be 8 damage.
yeah, definitely. Go ahead and describe your killing blow on this thing. You can see it's trying to pull itself free from the sword, just making the wound
Sword.
deeper.
Yeah. So it's just because everything that I do is based on, like, my attacks are based on agility. Everything's kind of precise and the long knife is no different. Like, I land and kind of use the bear's attention on Victor as an advantage to get a clear, like, sort of swipe at its neck, and that's what I do with the long knife. I just put the knife straight into its neck, pull down until I feel the knife come free, and then step away, hoping that it's not going to thrash around and catch me with a claw.
You can see the lifeblood just pour forth from this jugular across the floor. This crimson blood just spills everywhere. This thing will thrash around a bit before it finally just lies still on the floor, takes a few last heaving breaths, and then lies still. These ravens that are in the room just flock like crazy. Rondra Stefania is over in the corner of the room. All you can see is black feathers and the squawking, squealing of these things. It lasts for just a few seconds before they all take off back up through the sky window and outside. You can see she's back on her knees and hands down on the ground as she's lifting herself back up. She's up, but she looks really badly injured. Everything else, that will be the end of combat in this room anyway.
Well, I would. I don't know if it counts toward the initiative, but I would run over to Victor and pretty much use one of the 2 last spell slots to do a lay on hands on him for 3.
So get 3 damage back, Victor. And I must ask if anybody has a fortune point they would like to save Vasily with.
I don't have one.
I think Dre is the only one that's got one left.
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay.
Do you want to use it for Vasily?
Yeah, let's burn it for sure.
All right. So what do you do to save Vasily? What does Vasily look like? He's holding on to his.
Yeah, I'm laying on the back on the ground, clutching onto my book with my eyes just like staring straight up into the sky.
So I will draw upon my my profession as a healer and my past sort of time in medicine, and we'll just quickly run over and apply some battlefield triage to Vasily. It's not going to save his life per se, but it's not going to be life-saving, but it will potentially save his life.
Gotcha. You stuff his innards back in and staple his gut closed the best you can. Go ahead and you'll recover 1 damage then, Vasily, so you'll basically be 1 below your threshold. And that was a pretty brutal hit. So actually, Vasily, why don't you give me a 1d20 roll? Because you're going to have a lasting injury of some sort.
20!
Actually, I think a 20 is nothing major.
Oh!
Can it be his choice? Like, if it's nothing major, can it be like Tim's choice on what it is.
Or at least
If 20 is no lasting ramifications, so
Or at least
That-
insanity, because I died technically.
yeah, why don't you give yourself, well, you've been in the mist before. How about just 1d2 insanity? Just
Oh,
1d6 if it's even one, odds are two.
okay, so just one insanity.
Take
So I'm
one
up to 2
insanity.
now. I'm up to 2 now.
And you'll have nightmares about the bears. You'll have bearophobia. But other than
Oh.
that,
It's even worse because I was the bear lycanthropes that from my history.
oh yes, I forgot about that.
The
Nice.
werebears, yeah. Werebears.
The werebears. He wasn't a werebear, but might as well have been. So yeah, you can see Stefania pull herself up and start moving slowly across the room. She looks badly injured as well. She'll dig into her pocket and take out a few of these small grapes and eat a few of them down. And look around. Is everybody all right?
Is there a word shorter than no?
You all can hear in the distance the screams of Jack, and then it's just cut short, and you hear another slamming a door from where he was standing in the door. The room beyond that sounds like there's another door, and his screams of frustration and anger seem to die off. There's no more whimpering from within this vat. Stefania standing there, sort of taking her breath for a few moments. I know there's at least one more druid here, the leader, the one that led them here. It's Tarman Antlers. He's somewhere. I saw him when I was coming in.
I think I hit him with my shield. I'm not sure. I don't. He might be dead upstairs for all I know, but I do know I hit him. What's upstairs? Because that's where he was going.
Separate bed chambers, a couple small offices, just smaller rooms, a large hoist where we load up money in the casks of wine, a bit of a crane that loads them onto the things, under the carts. That's about it.
I'm going to use one of my endurance points to stuff my innards even further back inside.
Yeah, I was going to ask, can I spend points now? Or
As long as you're out of initiative, yeah, you can spend as many as you want. As you guys
All right.
take a.
So I'm going to use both of mine.
Yeah, same here.
I'll use one as well. I think takes me back to 4.
Did you say the crying from the bat stopped?
Mhm.
That was, we stopped the grinders on that, right?
Yes.
I'll go over and knock on the vat.
There is no answer or nothing. He just sounds like it's full of grapes and juice. But, you know, I mean. From the balconies above, you could see down into them if you went up that way, or you could climb up to look inside. But
No, I'll work my way up the balcony.
Well, how would they empty the bats?
just large bung holes that would be on the side of the
Okay.
wooden casks.
Is it like an easy thing, or because like Victor's going to go over there and like try to pop that thing off?
Well, yeah, give it a couple good kicks, or with a hammer or something like that. You could, not even with your sword, the hilt of your sword, it would knock it loose.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to just start beating the crap out of this thing.
I love that without talking about it, we've all agreed to ignore Jack.
Oh yeah,
It's
Like-
crying.
he's
He was the sanest thing out of everything that we just saw.
Oh, well, last time we seen him, I pushed him off a bridge and he turned into a bunch of birds.
yep.
Yeah.
Got it. I have a feeling we're going to need him.
I don't know. I think he's the devil.
That or more trouble than he's worth.
Give this little notch thing a few quick hits with your hilt of your sword, Victor, and it'll pop it loose. And you just see red wine, well, juice, not really wine yet, and grape peels and everything just pouring forth across the floor. Takes a few minutes to empty, but you just completely empty this vat out.
He's going to make it go faster by like reaching in and trying to grab as much like of the grapes as possible. Just like start pulling it and see like if he can look inside.
Yeah, once it fills out a little bit, you can peek inside and it just looks empty. As you get up to the top mud and look down in, there's nothing or nobody there. It was just all crushed grapes.
Victor's actually going to look super confused, and he's going to look to everyone, and it's like, were the grapes talking?
You do smell the grapes are very rancid smelling. When you guys came into the room, you saw the druid pouring something into the vats, but the grapes, it's whatever this was wine or was in the making of wine, it's definitely bad. Looks like it's completely rancid.
While they're doing that, I'm going to recast arcane armor on myself.
Stefania walked between these vats. One's broken and smashed. The other three, well, one's emptied now. The other two still have it, but she'll go up to the balcony as well where you're at, Mud, and look over, and they're out of ruins. They put something in it to these now that are rancid.
There was a druid, and Victor's going to point out, he did pour something in there. Like, it looked like a bottle. Maybe he has it up there, and you can see. Because I think he was upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look around, you can find there's going to be 3 empty bottles up there, one for each vat that had wine in it, and all of them are emptied out. But whatever was in it, this sludgy, swampy-looking liquid, it smells of just decaying flesh and vegetation. It seems to be some sort of rancid concoction that completely ruined these vats of wine.
I'm going to go over to the vats. I'm going to cast Sense Magic over there.
Just around the room or over some space?
I'm going over by where the vats are. And I'm looking in there. I'm going to cast Sense Magic.
Yep, you'll see, well, all the wine that's spilled off the floor as well as the 2 vats that are still full. There's definitely some sort of transmutation type magic. You get the sense of whatever they put into there was some sort of poison or something that would just completely ruin and make people sick if they drank this. It was definitely a magical concoction or some sort of alchemy.
Yeah.
Stefania, we don't need to worry about this right now. My family is still here somewhere. And all of you can hear this thick rumbling. It sounds like thunder off to the distance, and it gets louder and louder. It's almost crashing. It sounds like it's coming from out there where that ramp area was, Victor. And then it slowly starts to die away a little bit. And those of you up on the balcony will hear it below your feet from the room that's down below you. Those in the room with the vets will hear it from this doorway where Jack was, but you hear this high-pitched scream, and then it just stops. It sounds a bit of a gurgling and then silence.
I think Victor, with that noise, like, immediately would run into that room.
You'd have to run down the balcony and sort of behind it into this room. It would be the southern...
No. Remember, I'm on the bottom floor because I jumped off and landed on the bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be the southern doorway where this room is, and it opens up into what looks to be a storage room, another simple one. There's casks of wine stuff, but there's a pair of stairways that open, like the doors open off the floor, trap door, goes down into the basement, and you can hear some sort of strange chanting down there, Victor, and you could hear the gurgling, just the grumble, moaning sound of somebody.
Did the rest of the group follow me, or?
Yeah, I follow. It sounds like someone's singing my song, and I follow behind Victor.
Okay. Then if I see at least one other person, then Victor's just going to charge straight down.
Yeah, Stefani would be right behind you as well as Drag as they run down. He says, my family's down there, perhaps. We must help them. You'll see Stefania just run right behind Vasily and Victor. She heads down the stairwell, too. Mud, Dre, Mornek, you guys are still upstairs. What do you guys do?
Seeing them head out of the room and start heading down, I'm sure Mud will start working his way down and around as well.
Mornek's feeling really adventurous, and because other people like jumped off and onto the ground, he's going to try it, but I don't know how this is going to turn out.
Give me an agility challenge roll.
I'm not giving you a boot on this.
That is a 19.
And actually, Mud, You can give him a bane.
If you want me to. Sadly, I can't.
It is flash. You can see Mornak must be really upset at this spilled and ruined wine as he just throws himself over this balcony. But nah, he can get down there easily with a 19. A little flash of elven dexterity and land on your feet. Are you following the others as they run through this doorway and down the stairwell?
Yes, I am.
All right.
I want to recover Vasili's crossbow and my 2 daggers and my spear. I could.
Yeah, I would wait by the door until Dre catches up. Not leaving anybody in there by themselves.
Yeah, you'll see as you rip your spear free, grab your daggers, run down the stairwell and around the corner, Dre. Everybody else goes down this stairwell into the basement area. As Mud and Dre, as the two of you are getting ready to move through this door, you can hear this footsteps off to the side. And as you're in this doorway getting ready to walk into the room to go down the stairwell, Mud, you look over and you see this druid chief person over. He's about 40 yards away from you at the far side of the room, this black bleeding staff in his hands, and he'll slam it down onto the ground. And you see all these black tendrils and roots just crawling across the floor of this room towards you. What do you do?
You ever seen an orc cry? And the tendrils are just working their way towards us.
Yep, across the ground, like fungus or like roots across the ground, spreading out further and further and coming closer and closer.
So we're cut off?
Do they cut off? No.
No, are we, is Mud and I
Oh,
cut
no,
off?
no. You could certainly run into the room and down the stairwell if you want to. It hasn't reached you yet, no.
Okay.
So basically, that's our only choice here, or there's steps. There's not steps up here. There's
No, because you're down under the balcony now. You could basically run to try and go back out the entrance you all came in, or into this room that you're facing, or stay here with this guy.
Is this the set of steps that Jack had come up?
Yes. Well, he didn't come up, but he was in this room.
Okay.
In this small room, it's basically a 10 by 20 foot room. There's a stairwell that leads down into the basement, and then there's the front door of the building that leads outside. When you guys saw Jack, he was getting dragged by the mist outside, back out to the vineyard.
And the head druid is like all of us can see him doing that, or
Nope, because you guys are started down the basement already.
Okay.
So Victor, Vasily, Stefania, and Mornak are all headed down the basement and drag. It just leaves Mud and Dre, who were waiting for a moment.
Okay. I think you can take him.
The head druid is not in the basement.
Nope.
Remember, he's wounded from my shield. You can take him.
He's got a little bit of a knot on his head, but otherwise, no. He would be coming in. He would be coming in the doorway that the bear tore down.
What would Dre do? I mean, Dre doesn't know Jack, but Dre did see Jack come in and help us.
He didn't necessarily help. He just seemed to have a good time. I was ready for a fight. Against who is to be questioned, but
Gotcha. Well, I'll look to Mud and I'll defer to his decision on this. Dre wants to go after the big honcho, but he's understanding that teams are more successful when they work together.
Mud really wants to go after this guy too. But we did, these tendrils are just coming across the ground toward us. Mud will just shake his head and point down the stairs and kind of back his way down, watching as he goes to see if this druid starts working his way towards us.
the doorway that you're standing in, you could shut the door if you wanted to, Mud. You would be able to lock it because it locks from the side of the room with the vats, but you could at least shut it and then go down the stairwell if you wanted, or unless you want to leave it open, that's up to you.
No, I'll shut it. Yeah, that's it. I'll shut it and start working my way down the steps.
Do you want to shut the trap door that you're headed down the steps for, too?
No.
No.
Dre's still.
Yeah, I'll leave the trap door open.
All right. So you slam this door shut, so kind of separating you from this druid chieftain and this room that you're in, and then take off down the stairwell. Victor, you would be the first one down, followed by Vasily and Stefania. As you come down the stairwell, it's a 10-foot ramp that goes down, and it sort of turns a corner a little bit and then takes another, that stops at the landing and then goes down the rest of the way. As you hit the bottom down into the basement of this Victor, you're the first one in, followed by the others. You can see a room. It's 80 feet long, or 80 feet wide by 20 feet in width. This long rectangular room. There's crates and barrels scattered here and there. Over to your right, though, you can see this ramp that was from upstairs, the same ramp that had all this vegetation that the druid went up, Victor. And you can see that it spirals all the way down to this room. There's going to be 6 people. They're all strapped down with these thick grapevines on top of what looks to be pallets. And you can see the first 2 people are just bloodied, mangled corpses. It looks like they've been crushed. There's 2 large barrels off to the side that are still pouring out water from inside. And you can see where they would have come down this ramp, spiraled down, and then rolled across these bodies. The first 2, again, are just pulp. But there's still 4 people still alive. The front one, a younger man, maybe in his 20s, who looks like he's been ran over by one of these barrels already, that is pretty badly injured. Off to your left, as you glance over, you see 4 of these humanoid blight things and 1 druid. And everybody sort of stops and locks eyes for that brief moment. You're going to catch them by surprise, so you guys would get to act first. They're within short range, within a movement if you went slow. Well, you can't really go slow, but any kind of ranged attack would reach them.
How many did you say?
There's 4 humanoid blight things, and then 1 druid.
And you said we can basically let like a surprise round off?
Yep.
Okay. Victor's going to chuck his bastard sword at the druid. Like, it's going to be like one of those steps, and he's throwing it like a spear, and he's just chucking it straight at him. I throw things, too. I'm being Dre.
You don't have your shield, so what's the next best thing?
Well, I got a dagger, but I'm going to kind of keep that for emergencies.
Give me attack.
Keep the dagger for
Remember the first game, I lost my bastard sword too, like saving everyone too. So like, I don't need weapons. All right.
Just use agility for your attack instead of strength.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
So, well, agility's not too bad. All right. So, come on, dice. Okay. That's a not natural 20. 21 technically.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Sweet.
Do damage just like you normally would.
Oh God. Okay. Actually, because that's 21, is that 5 over?
I think it might be. What is it? Best 8. Best 8. His defense is 13. So yes.
Okay. Would you guys mind if I used our extra D6 damage?
No, go ahead.
Not at all.
Drag.
All right. So
Go
I
ahead.
need another D6. 10, 14, 16, 17. 17, 18, 19, 20. Do I add strength? Do you want strength in that? Because I'm technically throwing it.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be 22 points of damage.
Nice. Is this, you're going to see this bastard sword just cleave right into the chest of this thing as this guy stumbles back as it goes hilt deep in through his chest. Right beside you, you see a bit of a blur, Victor, as Stefania just barrel runs right past you. She's got these 2 daggers in either hand, and she'll leap up, and she's going to actually go after him as well. And she is going to hit. And maybe. You see she runs forward, and she sort of leaps forward, her foot catching at the sort of as the guy stumbles back on his knee, and just buries both daggers into each side of his collarbone right in, and then pushes her feet up against him and rips him free as she rolls back. And yeah, he looks pretty badly mutilated already. These huge gashes down either side of his collarbone, and this sword of yours stabbed through his chest, and he's just going to hit the ground hard. These 4 blight things are going to start moving forward, but again, everybody still has an action that hasn't taken it. So Vasily, Mud, Dre, Mornek.
Is he dead?
He is not, but he's on the ground. Yeah, he only has 2 health left.
Oh, okay, good. I'm running on fumes. I'm going to shoot a magic dart at him, and I do 4 points of damage to him.
That'll take him out. So as he hits the ground, your dart's just going to explode across his face. You can see bits and pieces of the skull and the flesh just splatter everywhere. And with that, since you took the hits, Vasily, go ahead and give me a 1d3 roll.
3.
Nice. You'll see 3 of these blights that are starting to advance forward just crumble into a swampy, sludgy mess. These hard knocks of wood rolling across the floor. There's only 1 blight left in here. They're kind of mindless, so it's still just moving forward towards you, not really aware of what's going on otherwise. Mud Drain, Mornick, you guys still have an action, but you can hear this heavy rumbling, the sound of thunder again, rolling, getting louder and louder.
Is the druid still up?
Nope, he is gone. Guys took him out quick.
And I'm thinking Mud hasn't made it all the way down the stairs yet, because I had hesitated before coming down.
That's true. You and Dre would be in the back, so probably Mornick, you would be the most common one to be up.
Okay. Well, I want to... Yeah, let's go ahead and do the same thing Vasily did. I'll go ahead and shoot a magic dart at him. At the remaining guy.
Yep, there's 1 left.
And that's going to be 2 points of damage.
6, gotcha. And 2. Blow off a few thorns, flowers of this thing. It's continuing just to march forward, though sort of mindlessly. That would put Mud and Dre as you guys come down into the room. You would see this druid just a bloody mess over in the corner. Stefania standing next to it. This bastard sword of Victor's cleaves through his chest. To your right are there's 6 bodies tied down. The front 2 are just pulp. And the third one is a man who looks badly injured. You can hear the thundering coming down this ramp, though.
The thunder is coming down the ramp. Actually, I was just about to ask. Okay.
Is the guy on the floor in front of the ramp?
Yep. They're lined up in front of the ramp, so when the barrels come through, it goes right over top of them.
Okay. Well, Dre would Dre be able to throw his spear at the blight and then move to pull the last guy who's still alive out of the way of the ramp?
Copycat.
Not quite, because you basically only have 1 action as a surprise, because that would be 2, move and attack. So you can do one or the other.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and grab this guy and pull him out of the way then.
Right.
I'll drop my spear and move to the guy.
Well, you said there's a bunch of people still tied up, right?
There's 4, yep.
All right.
But aren't 3 of them dead?
2 of them are dead. 1 is bloodied really bad. 3 don't look like they're too bad at all yet.
Okay.
But they're all lined up in a row, so when you pull that one guy who, depending on which one you pull, the other 3 are still in the line of this barrel.
So actually, as Dre pulls that guy out of the way, Mud will kind of step into place, drop his shield down, and take the defense action and kind of prepare for impact with the barrel.
Yeah,
Okay.
What I might do is then I'll brace with Mud and see if we can stop this barrel.
All right. In that case, I don't know which one of you is stronger. I'll let you guys decide, but you're going to get a strength challenge roll. You'll get a boon, whichever one rolls it for the other one helping.
I got strength at 13.
You're up.
All right, so
Give yourself a boon.
And as I plant the corner of the shield in, I'll actually frost it over around the edge to give myself another boon and kind of hold it in place. 18, unnatural 20.
Nice. Okay. And you're only going to take half damage as this barrel. They're pretty large, heavy. It looks like a 54, 55 gallon barrels that are just filled with water. They're rolling down. This thing smashes into you. You're only going to take half damage, though. That's not bad at all. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 points of damage.
Oof.
On us, 46. Jeez.
Nice.
As this smashes into you, can veers it off, so maybe kind of heave it a little bit, but it rolls out of the way and then smashes down.
So as I take the hit, I'll turn to everybody else and just grunt, get them out of the way.
And with that, there's only one guy left, but we'll enter initiative because you can hear the thundering of another barrel coming. So, who would like to go fast or slow? There's only one needle light blast. There's only one of these needle light left, and then these people in front of the barrel.
Dre will go fast.
Dre is fast. Who else said fast?
Fornak will go fast.
Mornak is fast, yep.
But Vasily goes fast.
Vasily is fast. Gotcha.
Do we know when the barrels will be coming down?
It sounds like one's coming down right now. It takes a few seconds to reach the bottom, but there's one on the way. You can hear it thundering down.
So if I do a slow action, do I think I can make it there in time?
That is completely randomized at the end of the round. By the sound of it, it's really hard to judge. You can't tell.
Well, you said at the end of the round, right? So it's Okay. Well, with everybody else going, I think Victor will go slow though, because he's all the way in the back. Everyone else is, I think, is either forward or got ranged weapons.
Yeah.
Victor threw all his.
They weren't even really ranged weapons, but
Well, he's still got a dagger, but like a dagger versus a barrel, he'll try it, but I don't think so.
yeah, the barrels are completely random on where they end up from beginning to end of round. Mud.
I guess two questions here. Would just reaching behind me and shoving one of the people out of the way, would that be a full action?
They are actually tied down by grapevines, so it's going to take a full action to get somebody free.
Gotcha. And then the other question is, can you like hold a action in this?
Yeah.
All right. Then I will go. I'll go slow. Yeah.
Gotcha. So basically, if it comes up to your turn before whatever it is, what are you holding it for? You basically makes a trigger.
I'm holding a shock spell to actually, as soon as the barrel comes into sight, try to destroy it.
Gotcha.
I may move out of the path before then, depending on if my turn comes up.
Gotcha.
If it doesn't work.
Did Mud and I stop the barrel in its tracks, or did we get hit and it rolled over us?
No, it hit you, but you threw it off the track. So, well, he only took 3 points of damage, but you're able to get it off the track before it really did anything.
Gotcha.
So is that everybody? And Stefania got Vasily, Victor. Yeah, that's everybody. All right. Let's sort. So first one, Dre, you would be up first in that case. You can hear the thundering of a barrel coming down the ramp. You're right in front of, looks like a younger man, maybe in his 20s, who's been hit by the barrel once already. He has a couple broken bones, and it looks like his chest is caved in a little bit, but he is alive.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just grab him. He's first in the row, and I'll cut the vines free and drag him out.
All right, so you're going to pull him free. You can see he groans and sort of clutches to you the best he can as you pull him free. The thundering of the sparrow getting a little bit closer. Next up would be Mornak.
Okay. So there are some bad humans among these, is that correct?
There's just one more needle blight left, which is the one you hit. He's the only enemy in the room, besides the people that are strapped down, but they're prisoners.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and shoot my last magic dart at it.
Alrighty.
For 2 points of damage.
Gotcha. See a few more bits of branches and limbs blow off the side of this thing as it continues to move forward. Mornak went, Dre went, up to Vasily.
Okay, with staff in hand, I'm going to charge straight at it and try to just knock its head off with my staff.
Go for it.
That's a 18 on the die, plus 2 is a dirty 20.
And yep.
That does 6 points of damage.
Perfect. And knock its head off you do. You'll be able to slam into this thing. You see vines, bits of branches split as you rip off this vegetative sort of skull-like form. And it rolls across the floor. It turns into this sludge as this knock of wood falls to the floor. Behind you can see Stefania was getting ready to try and take this thing out as well, but she'll turn and make a run towards the next person in line. Looks to be an older woman, probably in her 60s or so, and starts trying to untie her. So that would put Mud, you would be up. And the barrel, you can hear it coming down, but it has not come around the corner yet. Sounds pretty close.
Okay, can I take the defend action as my move action and continue to hold my spell?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll, same thing, holding the shield, bracing for impact.
All right, and who am I missing? Victor, you would be up.
I have a cool idea in my head. I don't know if you would allow it or like if I have enough. I say cool, but Victor's gonna run up, grab his bastard sword. Of course, the guy is attached to said bastard sword, and then he's gonna run over and kind of get next to Mud and wait for a barrel to come down. And when it does, he's gonna not throw the bastard sword, but he's gonna try to slide that guy off his sword in a swing and make him hit said barrel plus Mud's shock at the same time. So hopefully we could stop said barrel.
Gotcha.
So
In that
That's-
case, you would basically ready yours as you pull your thing and move over and ready your action, and that would be the end of the slows. So yes, the barrel would be coming around the corner.
Yeah, Bud, me and you were standing next to each other, and I got the sword ready, and you just see a guy at the end of his sword just like hanging there. You're muted, buddy.
To time it right, I'll have you try first, Victor. Go ahead and give me agility challenge roll to time this right.
All right. I can't necessarily name a barrel my prey now, can I?
No.
Okay. I mean, I could try,
The
right?
prayer of wine barrels.
Well, I mean, it's a bad barrel. It's trying to crush people. All right, so you said agility. That would be a 14.
Perfect. So yeah, you throw this forward. It slows the barrel a little bit. It's going to roll right over top of him as it comes towards you, Mud.
Can I give him a boon? Question.
Depending on what he does, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to. I was holding my hand out. I'm gonna squeeze my hand tight and just cause some electricity to shoot out at the barrel. I'm casting shock on it.
Right. Normally, what does that require? An agility?
Yeah, it's me making a will attack against the target's agility.
Right. So we're just going to do a basic agility. Well, make a normal attack. It's just going to be a straight 10, though, that you need to beat.
I do not.
Did you use the boon that you're going to get from Victor?
I did.
Oh,
And I rolled a 6 on the boon, but a 2 on the die.
You can see electricity courses around this barrel a little bit, but it doesn't seem to do much. It'll roll over top of this body that Victor threw ahead. Slows it down a good chunk as it kind of slams into, I guess you're both right there. So both are going to be an agility check, but it's slowed down quite a bit, so give yourself 2 boons.
Well, would I be doing an agility check, or I'm prepping for impact with the
oh
shield?
God.
Oh, if you wanted to make a strength one in that case, that's fine too.
Yeah, I'll take my 27 that I rolled.
Beautiful.
See, out of combat. Do good.
Oh, I actually get a third boon for that. 14. 13.
Nice. So you both are only going to take half damage and 4, so 2 points of damage. I'm rolling bad on the d6s now. As this barrel smashes into you and then sort of rolls over to the side. Stefani's going to pull hers free. There's still 2 people, but you don't hear any barrels at the moment, so you guys would have plenty of time to free up the other 2. There's going to be basically 2 bloodied pulp. They're gone and dead. 2 people look like they're 2 men, look a bit older. This man that you pulled off, Dre, looks badly injured, but you'll see Stefania pulls this woman free, make sure she's okay, and this runs over to this man that you have, and sort of cradles him in her arms. You can see she starts pulling out a few of these grapes that she has and shoving them into these open wounds on his chest and trying to snap back into place some of his bones. He will fall unconscious for the time being. You guys will free up the other 2. There's going to be this old woman who she freed, and then there's a younger girl, maybe 17, 18, and then an older man who looks almost as old as Davian, this old caretaker, probably in his 60s or 70s as well.
Victor, he knows the situation, but he will immediately look to see if there's a stick nearby. Just if they look similar, he's just gonna be weary of this old man, but then he would help him if especially if there's no stick nearby.
Victor's projecting as he smacks the old man with a stick.
You see this old couple. She introduces herself as Constantina, and then her husband, this other old man, is Sebastian. And they'll come over. They look beaten up, like they've been prisoners, so they're a little roughed up and stuff, but for the most part, they're okay. Onto the side, you can see Stefania's just cradling this man who's been crushed, and she just shakes her head, and she looks like she's trying to say something, but there's just no words coming out, and you can see the tears streaking her face. And she'll lay him down softly, and she'll glance over her shoulders at all of you, and it looks like she's kind of trying to figure out something to say or something to do, like fighting with her own emotions or something. What are the rest of you doing?
Victor will actually just give her a hug. Just reach down, and he's bloody. He is completely bloody. And he's just going to reach down and be as gentle as he can as well, because he knows she's been through a lot.
Yeah. As you come closer, she actually holds her hand up. No. And she'll stare at you, Mud. It's almost, you see she clenches her jaw. Her hands clench a little bit, and she looks down at this man that's in her arms. You can see he's fading quick, and she'll sort of lock eyes with you for a moment.
Without saying anything, because I think when she looks over, I was trying to remove the the corpses from the path, as gingerly as possible. Mud will just nod his head in understanding, walk over and use its very last spell slot to place his hands and make eye contact with her, because I think Mud just figured out that she kind of played him a little. Healing for 4. And yeah, she's looking at this guy. This isn't a brother or anything, is it?
No.
Yeah.
What sort of Machiavellian funhouse is this?
And it's 9 o'clock almost, so she will stare at you for a few moments, and all of you can't hear anymore the thundering of these barrels. You break these other couple free, and they all sort of huddle in the corner around one another, this whole family. You can see they all sort of resemble each other. It's definitely all family. And you'll see this man that you healed, Mud, and he wakes up a little bit. You can see he looks really groggy. And Stefania set him down on the ground and puts her hand over her chests. And she looks at all of you for a few seconds and then places her hands on his. And you can see that one of his legs sort of snaps awkwardly forward. Another leg snaps, and you can hear the cracking, crunching of bones. His form is starting to mangle up on the floor. And he lets out this bit of a scream of pain. And then there's this flash of black feathers. And we will leave it there for the evening. So we will stop.